Big news, everyone! Amazon Prime Video orders a God of War series based on the critically acclaimed PlayStation video game franchise. Here's hoping they take some of that budget away from that crappy-ass Rings of Power show and give it all to God of War. But today, we're also going to be updating you on what that show is going to look like. I'm Troy from Marks on TV, and today we're going to be talking about a Screen Rant article about what you can expect from the Amazon Prime Video series. Before we begin, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell to be notified every time we post brand new videos. We bring you new content every single day of the week, whether it's about TV, video games, movies, and of course, pro wrestling. Now, on with the story, which you can find linked down in the video description. God of War show will skip first 3 games and adapt Norse mythology instead. Amazon Video announced that its God of War live-action adaptation will follow its Norse storyline rather than earlier Greek mythological influences. The Amazon Prime Video God of War show has been officially announced, and the show is set to skip the first 3 games in the series and instead focus on the adventures of Kratos and Atreus, with the first 7 games in the God of War series primarily focused on Kratos and his vengeance against the Greek gods. Later games in the series preferred a different bend. Having raised a son in a Norse-inspired setting, Kratos' next assault on the gods would leave him lashing out against the Norse gods. The new setting and its cast of villains provided a marked change for a franchise that brought it great success, so it's no surprise that Amazon would be interested in replicating that change. The Norse saga in God of War is better than the Greek, as it offered real development for Kratos in a wholly tangible way, as he could easily be contrasted with his son. In a statement provided by Variety, the head of global television at Amazon Studios had this to say, quote, God of War is a compelling, character-driven franchise that we believe will captivate our global customers as much with its expansive and immersive worlds as its rich storytelling. We are honored to share in the adventures of exploring the God of War mythology in such a momentous way with Sony Pictures Television, PlayStation Productions, and Santa Monica Studios, end quote. Already, information is pouring in about what Amazon's God of War will look like. Amazon has already announced that it will be headed by the showrunner of Wheel of Time, Rafe Judkins. We'll get to that in a few. He will be joined by producers and writers Marcus Ferguson and Hawk Otsby, who are acclaimed creators for their work on Iron Man and Children of Men. In addition, Amazon will be working together with PlayStation and Santa Monica Studios to produce the project, as several video game industry creators, like Santa Monica Studios creative director Cory Barlog, will be serving key role in the production as executive producers. The show is set to feature the direct aftermath of the death of Atreus' mother and Kratos' wife, Faye. But given that it will need to present some backstory to Kratos that must allude to previous games, it is unlikely that God of War settles for only Norse mythology. Still, it is likely that the show will follow the story of the games closely, especially given that one of Amazon's other upcoming video game shows, The Last of Us, seems to be sticking closely to the source material. There will likely be flashbacks or allusions to the devastation that Kratos laid upon the Greek gods in order to provide some background to the character. The casting for God of War has not yet been announced, as the show is still in the early stages of production. Casting Kratos for the God of War show likely won't be too difficult, as there is already an abundance of popular muscular actors like Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa for the show to tap. Atreus, on the other hand, could be difficult due to child actor limitations on set. Still, Amazon managed to find a solid actor in Bella Ramsey to play Ellie in The Last of Us, so there is no need to doubt the studio. Casting information will likely come quickly now that the show has been officially confirmed, so it's always worth it to keep an eye out to see how God of War will develop from here. The reason I said about the showrunner of the Wheel of Time taking this on now is not because I necessarily hated the Wheel of Time. I was kind of bored and confused with some of it. I felt that the show wasn't done very well, and apparently, fans of the actual Wheel of Time book series absolutely effing hated it. Amazon has taken 2 fantasy series and effed them both up with the Wheel of Time and what I mentioned earlier with the Rings of Power. The Rings of Power will most certainly fail. I don't see any way around that. It's not going to bring in the money that they need. There's no way to continue to justify that show. After Season 2, I'm sure it's just going to go straight in the toilet. So maybe they can funnel some of that money over to the God of War. I'm trying to hold out some hope. I'm definitely going to watch it, whether good, bad, or indifferent, but I've been burned by video game shows and movies in the past. I never played The Last of Us, so I'm having no point of reference when going into the show, which I may or may not watch because at this point, honestly, I'm burned out with zombie stuff. I feel like this came way too late, but on the other hand, I like who they cast in the show, so I might give it a watch. Plus, the game was pretty successful, so I don't know. But as far as this, I kind of like the starting point they're going with. Flashbacks could be good. I mean, you could do entire episodes of a flashback, pretty much. So there's nothing wrong with that. I dig it. I'm very much looking forward to see who they're going to cast as Kratos and Atreus. I'm trying to hold out hope, even though Amazon, most of the stuff they've put out so far has disappointed me and or pissed me off, or has just been crap that I had zero interest in watching ever. But fingers crossed that we won't get burned as video game fans/nerds one more freaking time. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Are you going to watch this? Are you going to hold out hope? Have you given up on Amazon as a whole as far as the products they put out? And who do you want to be cast as Kratos? Share this video around to everyone you know, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that little bell to be notified every time we post brand new content on TV, movies, video games, and of course, pro wrestling. I've been Troy from Arcs on TV, and we'll see you next time.